Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Arispe Land. If you're new here, I am Chelsea. I am a homeschooling mama to 5 kiddos. If you're not new here, hey, thanks for coming back to hang out with me again today. I'm glad to have you here. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips I have for living as a large family on just one income. So as a stay-at-home mom and a homeschooling mom, I get asked frequently by just curious people and sometimes other women or other parents who are wanting to learn how to live on one budget, how I do it. How do we manage? What do we do? What are some things? And so I thought I would just take time to share 5 tips that really help me and my family to get by on one budget. We don't live a big glamorous life, but you know, we make do, we have fun, we enjoy ourselves. So I just thought I would share that with you guys. So in case you are wanting to go from 2 incomes to 1 income, but you're not sure if it'll work, or maybe you're just starting out a family and you're not sure if you're gonna be able to do a 1 income family, or maybe you already are a 1 income family and you just need some tips to help in certain areas to make things a little easier. I know we've always been a 1 income family, but I still always try to find new things to help us get along, and I'm just always trying to make it as easy and best as I can. Okay, so tip number 1 is to readjust your ideas of your wants versus your needs. I know that that might sound really simple, and it is, but it takes some time to get used to, especially because of social media, and we are always seeing everyone's highlight reels and everyone shopping or doing things, and you might think that you need those things too. So to just readjust those values. So like, let's say, you know, does your 4-year-old really need brand new Nikes? Well, maybe not. Spend that money on something else, or save that money for a child who would care if they have brand new Nikes. That would be readjusting a need versus a want. Do I really need a brand new 60-inch flat screen? Or am I okay with the TV I have? Or can I maybe, you know, find something used and work with that? Will that work with me? It's not shiny, but you know, the point of life is not to keep up with the Joneses. It is to enjoy your family. And at the end of the day, would you rather have spent the day singing and playing and laughing and all those things with your 4-year-old, or would you know that you were able to buy her Nikes or Adidas or everything she could possibly want? Because at the end of the day, your 4-year-old's not going to care necessarily about what she is wearing. She's going to care that she has people loving her, not that working moms and parents aren't loving their child, and not that it's not fun to buy, you know, everything your child could want for your child. I'm just trying to show you ways to readjust that want versus need. We don't always need the newest and the shiniest things. We just want those things, right? Now, as long as your kid has on functional shoes, they are just happy as can be. I know my soon-to-be 4-year-old would be happy with light-up Walmart shoes. And that's just fine with me, right? I'm gonna save that money and not spend it in areas where I don't need to. Another thing, this is a big help, is meal planning. If you will meal plan for at least your week. I like to try to do 2 weeks to a month, but if it's new, start with a week. You will save so much money. You meal plan, and what I'll do when I'm doing that, before I am gearing up for a big 2-week haul, I will go through all of my cabinets and my fridge and my freezer. I will see what I have to work with, and I will make sure and incorporate those items into my meal plan. So I will just go through and I'll say I have X amount of boxes of pasta, or X amount of packs of meat, or just whatever you have, incorporate that, sauces, seasonings, all those things, and then I will either rack my brain or go look up recipes that will use those products. Then I'll start my meal plan and my grocery list and stick to that grocery list when you get to the store. What I tell my kids every time we go into the store is I say, guys, I'm getting everything on my list first. If I can get everything on my list and we have extras, we will go back through the store and find more fun things. Now, I do put on my list, we'll have a couple of desserts a week, cookies, things like that. I'm not saying you can't buy those types of things. You can't put those on your list, because you can, and I do, but it saves me and it helps me when I go to the store to know, okay, first just check off business. When you have checked off business, if you have stuff left over, go and have fun. Maybe you don't have it though that week. Maybe you check off business and that's your full grocery budget. Well, it's better to be safe than sorry. At least you got exactly what you needed, and try to budget in for a few fun, yummy treats. And you didn't overspend. You don't have guilt about that later, right? You don't worry, well, I spent $30 extra at the grocery store. Now I feel guilty about it. If you stick to your plan and you just get everything on your list at first, you can always go back, because we all do that anyway, don't we? We get all our stuff, and on the way to the checkout line, we spend another 20, 30 bucks. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. But the way to the checkout line costs me about 20 bucks every time. So that saves me a lot. Also, bulk buying a big old thing of meat or a big old thing of cheese, or you get my point. Bulk buying saves money too. And then I look out for sales. So before I go grocery shopping, I will check out Aldi's sales and Walmart sales and other stores near me sales. And if they don't beat Aldi, then I'll make extra stops. Normally Aldi beats them all, so I just shop at that one place. And also, by looking at sales, I can say, well, hey, chicken breasts are all 69 cents this week. I'm gonna buy 3 more packs, even though they're not on my meal plan, because it's gonna save me on my next grocery trip. I won't have to buy chicken that trip. So it saves you in the end. And then batch cooking, if you can. I find that when I make a little bit more, I can somehow stretch it into 2 meals a lot of times. And so then I can be cooking enough for 2 meals. We eat one, I freeze one, we have a dinner for next week, and it just works out. It's a little bit cheaper than if I made it twice individually. I don't know how that works, but it works. For us anyway, try it, see if it works for you. So that's first and second tip. Third tip is we schedule our family outings or our date nights. So I will sit down and I will look at our budget and I will see which week or month, however you get paid, would work best to go on trips, and I will plan around that. I will also say that if you can buy memberships, you can save up money to buy memberships to your zoo or local museums or things like that. They even have memberships you can do for, you know, water parks and all kinds of places. I try to do that because then we can go whenever we want throughout the year, and all I have to do is make sure I have gas money and lunch money, right? And maybe some fun spending money, but I don't have to buy my tickets. That saves me a lot, and we can do a lot of fun things that way. But otherwise, yes, I schedule my outings. So I will look at my budget and say which week we will have the most on, and either try to do it that week or that month, or save it and put it in a budget for outings, and then still schedule so I know when that budget is being used. I will also look at Groupon. So say I know it's about to be maybe summertime or fall break or something, and we're gonna wanna go on an outing, I will start looking at Groupon, and I will keep things in there because you can sometimes buy and they have months and months before they expire. So I will buy certain Groupon deals, and then we will use them when we want to. One of those buy now, save later kind of things. Also group rates, I know I have a pretty big family, so, and I have friends who have pretty big families. So I can get together with me and 1 or 2 more families, and we will generally qualify for like a field trip or group rate price. That saves a lot of money. So if you can get together with some of your mom friends, family friends, get all your kids together, you can usually save quite a good chunk by going and getting that group or field trip rate. Saves us a lot. So that was tip number 3. Tip number 4 is to not go through so many drive-thrus. I know it's fun to drive through and maybe get that morning Starbucks, or drive through and get everyone a pop because you're out and it seems fun. But I mean, we stopped going to Sonic. We used to be big old happy hour people, and we still do occasionally, but we used to do it daily for years. And we stopped a year and a half ago, and I will tell you, it saves us quite a bunch. I think it's like 50 bucks a month it's saving, and I can tell you I would much rather make a big pitcher of tea at home for $3 for the week than go and spend 50 bucks a month. And usually they were done with their drinks by the time we got back home, and it wasn't worth it to me. So that's another need versus want thing for me maybe, but it saves us a lot. Or sometimes we would be out and I would think I'm just gonna stop and get everyone a french fry or some chicken nuggets or something, but because I have so many kids, and maybe you do too, it ends up being $20 and it doesn't really fill them up. I have to feed them again later. So if I know we're gonna be out on the town and maybe we're grocery shopping or we're field tripping or we're just running a bunch of errands, I will fill up everybody's. They can put, if we just water, homemade lemonade, tea, whatever in that with ice, and they're insulated. That is their drink for the time being. I will say a splurge I do on grocery shopping day, I buy everyone a quick dollar biscuit on the way to the grocery store. It's a treat they look forward to, and they're nice and full in the grocery store. So that is one of those things I feel like is a need. It might not be, it might just be a want, but I want that need, or I need that want. I don't know. So you just have to reevaluate and say, how often am I going through the drive-through? Or for my husband, it's the vending machine at work. How often am I using that vending machine? So I try to, because it's so much cheaper in the long run to fill him up, fill his part of the pantry up with all of his snacks that he can take to work and snack on, takes his lunch from home. He rarely goes and buys lunch. He 99% of the time takes lunch from home. That saves us so much money. If we are going on a field trip or a play date, we pack a lunch, we pack a snack. It saves so much money, and it's just, my kids don't mind. If you're used to maybe going out all the time, maybe wean yourself off. My kids weren't used to going out all the time ever, so it's not hard for them, it's not hard for me. We don't mind just packing up a lunch if we're going to the zoo instead of spending 50 bucks on zoo lunch. You know what I mean? Saves a lot of money. And those Starbucks, let me tell you, they add up. Even McDonald's coffee, it adds up. So save it as a special treat. It will mean more when you go to do it, and it's gonna save you in the end. Number 5, it's the last tip, and it's what makes all the other tips work, is to write down your budget and try to actually stick to it. I keep just a like dollar spiral notebook, and I have a page for every month of the year. So it'll say, you know, June 2019, and then I will write down how much we're getting paid and when we're getting paid, and then what our expenditures are, how much is going out, and then how much is left from that. Okay, how do I want to spend that? I think that's the big deal. Once I say this has to go, this portion of the money that's bills, it's got to be paid, right? We don't want the lights being shut off. This has to go. What's left over? So if you're not doing that, if you're not saying what's left over, it's just going here and there. My mom used to always call it your nickel and diming it away. And you're like, oh, a few dollars here, a few dollars there. Where did all my money go, right? So I try to, okay, here's what has to go, here's what's left. How do I want to spend it? And I will even talk to my husband and my kids, and you know, I'll ask Aaron, what's important to you this month? Is there anything special you are really needing or really wanting to do? And then my kids, you know, for our outings this month, let's talk about it. What's something really important to you guys that you would want to do for fun? I'll also, you know, kind of go through my brain. Does anyone need new socks or shoes or something like that? And then, so I'll see, this is what I have to work with that doesn't have to go, but it's gonna go into that want/need column. And then I will budget that out and say, you know, we have X amount of dollars left, but I know we wanna go play laser tag. I know Natalie needs socks. I know my husband needs a new lunch bag or something. And then I can budget that out and know that that's gonna get taken care of, it's gonna get bought. And then with the free, whatever is left, after that, after you budget out your fun stuff, maybe you do want to drive through the drive-through, budget that out. I used to buy Sonic cards so I wouldn't overspend. I am only spending this much at Sonic this month, or this month at McDonald's, or this month at Starbucks. Budget it out, and then what's left after that is like your free money that you can go nickel and dime if you want, or you could save it, whatever you want to do with it. But those are things that really help, and I feel like if you know what's left over and you know what you have to work with, you're going to spend it a lot more wisely. So I love to do that, and I will try to stick to my budget. There have been months in the past where I might write down my budget. Oh, here's what we have to spend, here's what I want to spend, but then I don't go back and look at it and keep up with it and check in with it and check things off of it. And before the month is over, my money is gone, but I didn't do some of the things I needed to do or get some of the things I wanted to get, and then I feel sad, and I'm like, hey, I kind of screwed the pooch on that one. That didn't work for me. So I really like to keep up with my budget, and I go back to it, that sheet, and I see, okay, yes, I've taken care of these things. Okay, yes, we're getting these things taken care of. It helps me so much. So make a budget, try to stick to it, and keep up with it, and be loyal to that budget. It helps so much. All right, you guys, so those are my 5 tips for living as a large family on just one income. It is very doable. I know a lot of people think they just can't do it, but if you really will sit down and look at what you're making, what you're spending, what has to be spent, and what you're just kind of nickel and diming away, I guarantee you, I mean, if we can do it, almost anyone can do it. I don't regret it whatsoever. We've always known we wanted to, me stay at home, my husband bring home the bacon, if you will, so that we can stay home and homeschool our kids. And even if you're not homeschooling, even if you just want to stay home for those years that your child is, you know, a baby and a toddler before they go off to school, or maybe you're still going to stay home and be a homemaker while your child is at school, I guarantee you it's still worth it, and it is doable. You just kind of readjust it and try not to keep up with the Joneses, because I guarantee you they're not looking back at you wondering if you're keeping up or not. And remember that social media always shows the highlights, not everything that happens, and definitely not all the down points. So don't worry if your car is not as shiny as the neighbors, because at the end of the day, that car is what took you and your family around to do your errands, and that's what the car is for. Or your house might not be the biggest and the bestest, but at the end of the day, was it filled with love and laughter? And was it, you know, filled with you working with your family to make things how you want it to be? Because that's what life's about. And I don't want to just, you know, live, pay bills, and die, right? That's what they always say. You don't want to live, pay bills, and die. But you can live, pay your bills, and still have the life you want on one income. It is doable. So anyway, that's it. Those are my 5 tips. If you have any other wonderful tips that you want to leave for me or other people watching this video, leave them down in the comments below. I would love to read them and just chit chat with you guys back and forth down there. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.